So hey, welcome back to Mrs. Wizard's Way. Are you tired of getting those ho-hum pictures of cars when you're trying to either sell them or just, post them on social media? I got some tricks for you. Let's get started. So before we get started, today I want to thank the 10 people who bought some of the work that I've created back here in my corner of the Wizard shop. Those were sold on eBay. They are on their way. They should be there very soon, if not there already. But thank you. If you missed out on those, I'm making some more. I've taken apart the 4L Slippy and I'm working on that next. So we'll see where that goes from there. But let's get back to taking pictures of cars. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I think I could do a total video on this because I shop a marketplace for cars. Wizard does as well. And there's times where I'm like, what were they thinking? Well, you got to think about when you're taking a picture of a car, appearances matter. The first thing you got to do is make sure you get your car ready, like this one. Couldn't they have washed it? Maybe tried to air up the flat tire? It looks like it's been sitting so long, I don't know if that tire would, but make it look like it can go rolling to somebody's house. That would be nice. The next one, maybe you could pull it out of its graveyard. It looks like that car has been sitting there for months, maybe years. Couldn't you pull it out again? Wouldn't take that much as well. Next, be current. It hasn't snowed here since Christmas, and there's snow in that picture. That is a telltale sign that this is not a new picture. What's going on here? Now, mind you, any of these pictures that we're showing you today, I found them on Marketplace, but they could be for vanity pictures. Maybe you want to have it just for your record of what's going on. Hey, this is my cool car, post it to social media, or maybe you're trying to enter a picture into a car contest and they need pictures before they let you in or not. But these are some things let's learn from what not to do first, and then I'm going to show you some of those how-tos. But in this case, it hasn't snowed in months. Also watch what's going on in the background. Imagine if there was like a political sign in the background. That'd be a bad sign if they had a sign in the background that said, Bush for president. Not so good. You need to think about next how to compose your picture. You can't just sit there and just grab out your phone and go click and call it good. It's got to be a little more planned than that. This one, it's like the car is, a block away. We can barely see it. It's taken at night. They didn't well compose this, but maybe looking at the different colored panels on that, maybe that was done on purpose. But here's a tip. If you're taking for social media or for selling on Marketplace, you want your camera to be vertical. If you're doing for vanity reasons, just want to have it as a record, maybe insurance, or maybe for that car show entry, you want to do a landscape orientation. Just one of those things to be thinking about when you're taking pictures. There's so many things wrong with the next couple of pictures. I mean, dude, couldn't you have washed the car first? And mind you, I found these there's 3 more after this, these 4 pictures on Marketplace this morning. But why is the dude sitting on the roof of his car? Now, it might be good for that social media post, but he's trying to sell it on Marketplace. Not good. I don't really need to know that somebody sat on the roof of a car I might buy. And when you're trying to buy a house or sell a house, you don't want to have too many family photos up there. You want to be able to see yourself going into that new home. That's what we're doing here. We can't. It's hard to see it. There's somebody already in the shot. The next one is a guy flashing gang signs or something. He's not, but he's flashing signs on us. Is that supposed to help us not see the peeling paint, the clear coat's gone on the roof? Not so sure. I can't even tell you why this guy posted this next picture. Again, he's on the roof of the car, and there's no part of that picture that's going to help sell that car at all. So I'm really confused why he thought that would be a good pose to put on it. His last picture in this series, and he had this is the same guy. Not the first one was a different guy, but the second set is all the same guy with this red car. But this next one's black and white. We don't sell cars in black and white. Again, a great aesthetic, a great social media post, great for, vanity picture, but not for selling it on Marketplace. I'm really, really confused what he was thinking there. No, that's not a drive-by. Well, it might have been, but no, it's not a drive-by. I looked at this one online. I'm like, what are we doing here? And they are really selling the Volkswagen through that windshield. Yeah, they're not showing the dash. They're trying to show a picture of that Volkswagen. Couldn't they have found a bit of energy just to open the door and get out of the car? Not so sure why they thought that was going to be a good way to sell their car, but that's another one I found just today. Now, I know it's fun to have our fingers out, to block tags. Don't do that. Really, don't do that. This guy did it because apparently he thought he was so special. Maybe he is afraid to drive around in the city with his tag exposed to the world, but you can take care of that after you take the picture. This problem was the camera focused on his finger and left the Suburban blurry in the background. Again, he's not selling his hand, he's selling the car. So leave that for a later post edit. The same thing with the next one is we've got the finger out again, but at least it's focusing on the car. But why the hell is that dude sticking his butt out of the car? I don't get that at all. That just seems like, dude, couldn't you have just said, hey, can't you get out of the way for a minute? Let me get this picture without the guy in the background. So one of the key things I used to teach when I was in the classroom was lighting. That is insanely important in photography. It doesn't matter what you're taking a picture of, but you really have to think about it when you're taking pictures of your car. The sun is the best light source, the best. So if you're wanting to get perfect lighting, try and take it in the sun. And this forward focus almost is focused in the right spot, but couldn't they have just backed up a little bit and gone to that lovely parking lot that looks to be in the background and got that shot showing everything nice, shiny, and looking great? The car looks clean, everything looks nice, but they should have gotten into the sun. Now, this next picture is so much better. We're in the sun, great. But the light is behind the guy taking the picture, which is what we teach people to always put the sun to your back. That's a great way to take pictures, except it casts a shadow into your picture. Well, it's not ruining the picture, it does create a distraction, and now we're focusing on the dude's shadow and not seeing the pretty red car. So that's another one what you just got to watch out for. Another thing is dusk and dawn are great times to take pictures, especially if you're at someplace fun like the Grand Canyon, or maybe you're at like Horseshoe Bend, some of those great places in Arizona. Yes, but not when you're taking pictures of your car, and especially when the lighting is behind it. We can't see what the Jeep looks like. It's got kind of a nice sunset going on behind it, but we're on the dark side of the car, so not good. Evil, the next one, this one is just evil, evil, evil backlighting. Backlighting is so hard to work with. This picture here is the picture that was from a dealership. They took this shot, posted it on Marketplace to sell. They not only got the sun in the picture, but they got two lens flares in there as well. We can barely make out what the car is. And this was the one picture, I'm not scrolling through and looking into pictures. These are the pictures that show up when you're just searching random cars. Not, I'm looking 12 pictures into what they were posting. This was the one that they wanted us to see first. I wonder how they're doing selling that. Now, this one is the runner-up to the worst picture today. So we have just one more bad one after this. This one is so bad. It not only has backlighting, it's off center, it's stuck in its grave, it doesn't look like it's moved in 100 years, and was possibly taken with a flip phone. It is so pixelated we can barely make out the car. Couldn't just find somebody else to help take the pictures, If you don't have a good camera on your phone, just borrow somebody's, Somebody could take a few pictures, and in a little bit I'm going to show you how to do it in just a few. You don't need 100. Now, this is the worst one I found. Not only does it have backlighting, but it's bad lamp backlighting taken in the dark so we can barely see the car. It looks like they did not clean the lens, so it's kind of blurry as well. And one thing can't see really in this shot is it had been rear-ended. And so the back has been bashed in. You can kind of see a little bit on that right-hand side, but yeah, it was wrecked. Didn't show that in that shot. So a little deceptive there as well. Now I've got some good shots today. Now this is my third place of good shots. Okay, there's not a lot to this car. It's a Volkswagen. Trust me, that's what they advertised it as. There's not much to it, but it's clear, it has good lighting, it has an interesting angle, and it fills the frame. A lot of things that make this picture so nice. The next one, our second place, also was a wrecked vehicle, but look at where they placed it. It's in kind of a field. It has a non-distracting background. The third place one had a distracting background. This one, no distracting background. It's got a good angle. We see two sides of it, even though it is wrecked, and we can see the headlight, little connectors dangling. It still is it's still a good shot. Our winner today is from Euro-Asian Bob. This is one of his cars, and whenever I'm scrolling through Marketplace, I always know one of Bob's pictures because he always takes them in the same place in Wichita. Always in what's called the Old Town area. Has lovely bricks on it. It has not much traffic, either car or walking, so he can spend a little bit of time there. And you know what? I just talked to him actually just a few minutes ago. He takes the pictures on his phone. So we don't need a high-end camera to take pictures, especially if we're just trying to maybe sell them or put them out to social media. So enough of this talk of what we see bad on Marketplace. Let's go out, let's go into the wilds of Newton, venture out to No Muffler Newton. I've got a perfect spot for us to take pictures, and I've snagged the Wizard Viper. So let's go see how photogenic it is. So hey, I found this spot in downtown Newton. Okay, Newton's not that big of a downtown, but I still found it. Got the Wizard's car here, and we were so blessed this morning. It was cloudy, it looked like a typical fall day, and now, welcome to Kansas. A few hours later, everything just kind of clears up. So I've got some beautiful clouds in the background as well. First thing we've done, the car is clean. He doesn't drive this in bad weather, so it stays clean. So we've already done step one. Car is clean. The next thing I found is a really non-distracting background. What I mean by non-distracting is there's not a lot of crap back there. Hopefully there's not too much going on. We wouldn't want to be at a car show. A car show is the absolute worst place that you could take pictures because there's too many people that could get in the way. There's other cars. You want to focus on the one car. Mind you, there's some in the background, but they're so far away, they're just background decorations. So the next thing we got to pay attention to is where is the sun? And the sun is behind me slightly and is casting a shadow this way. So if I'm taking pictures of the front of the car, I'm going to have to be really aware that my shadow is, not going to be caught in the shot. So often when we take pictures of any subject, doesn't matter if it's a car or if a building or a person, we forget so often that we're taking pictures of a subject and forget everything else around them. And that's how so many times we've seen some of those epic fails on social media where they forget to check the background and oops, something was really bad going on back there. Rather embarrassing probably. So we've changed camera angles and now my shadow is actually going to go onto the car. So that's one of those things we got to watch for. Now, ready for that phone to get out. First thing, clean the camera lens. It's not a high-end camera. You can use your shirt. If this was a actual photo camera, with an actual lens and like a DSLR, a point and shoot, I would say use a special lens cloth. But this lens is out all the time and is rather indestructible. But clean it. How many times do we touch it and the oils from our fingers get on there? That's where we get bad pictures. Let me clean it again. Okay. Now, if you're taking pictures that are going to be in Marketplace, someplace you're selling, like maybe social media, someplace that they're going to be watching on their phone, you want to shoot in portrait mode, upright. If you're taking it where it's going to be on a computer screen or a TV screen, maybe you're wanting to take a vanity shot for yourself just to keep, or maybe it's that enter into that car contest, you want to go with landscape mode because the people are probably going to be looking at it on a computer screen. So take that into consideration with the tips I'm going to be giving you today. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take pictures of this car and I'm probably going to do it in about maybe 5 shots. You probably don't need more than 5 shots of just the exterior. We're going to do the interior another day, but just the exterior, probably just 5 shots. Told you, the sun's coming out again. This is Kansas. Welcome to Kansas. So, get the camera turned on. So the next thing we got to pay attention to is what our settings are, and we're going to set it to portrait. Portrait makes a huge difference. By setting our camera to portrait mode, it tells the camera to focus on the subject, and a lot of times with that portrait is a person, but the smartphone or the camera doesn't know what a person is to a car, to a dog, to a cat. It doesn't know. So the subject is going to be in focus, the background is going to be slightly blurred. That's going to help keep that focus on our subject, which is going to be the Viper today. So let's go ahead and get the first picture. Okay, so I've got the picture framed nicely. I'm kind of bending just a little bit, get kind of an eye level to it. There we go. How does that look? Doesn't that look pretty good? We've got the front and the passenger side. Let's go to the opposite. I'm going to make sure, bend down. I don't need to be crazy levels with this. There we go. How does that look? So now with these two shots, I've gotten the front, the passenger, the driver's side, and the back of the car in two shots. You don't need to have just solid straight side, front, and back. So really, in reality, we could accomplish this with two shots. But I promised you 5. Let me do a few more. So I took the first 2 shots at landscape. Let's take this one in portrait mode. So I've got just looking at the back of the car, snap. Now, let me bend down just a little bit. Get it back up, make sure I've got it nicely framed. There we go. Which one do you like more? The first shot, where I'm just kind of lazy standing there taking the picture, or if I bend down and make sure it's well centered? Yeah, I think the second one was better. And notice that I covered up the plate after I took the picture. I wasn't sticking my finger out there, taking it out. Let's go to the front. Okay, with this shot, I'm gonna angle up just a little bit, and there we go. The reason I angled up and I didn't go down low is because we know what the front looks like, and you're not gonna see much. If I angled up, we can see more of the hood and a little bit of the seats as well. So now we've gotten 4 shots. The 5th shot can be anything. I strongly suggest if you are taking pictures for a car you're selling, make sure you record anything that's wrong or amiss, like if there's a scratch, a dent, something that they need to see. If this is a vanity shot, one that you just want to have, kind of like those guys that were trying to sell their cars by sitting on them, this is where you could have some fun and get a cool adjusted angle. So I'm gonna get a fun adjusted angle real quick, and then we'll be done. Okay, that's it. So, glad you guys are able to hang out with the Wizard and I today. We've had fun, I think. The Wizard's hopefully been a good camera operator for me today. Okay, Car Wizard, I'm not selling your car.
I hope not. I really want to keep that one.
You do? He has kept this car for a while, guys. Don't you agree?
It is a really cool car. I love it.
Yeah, but if I were to sell this car, we've got some good tips and tricks. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope to see you guys next time. Bye.